Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you here. Today, let me do a mini lecture to introduce our latest Intraoral Scanner, DDS300. For this lecture is mainly consisted by 6 parts. From this page, you could see the contents. The first part is the brief introduction of dynamic group. Second part is impression methods. Third part let us learn the advantages of digital impression and help us to learn why people choose digital intraoral scanner. The fifth and last part come to the introduction of our latest dynamic intraoral scanner, DDS300, and have a view of the product's application cases. From the left side, you could see the product image. The appearance is very delicate and beautiful. Do you love it? Okay, let's continue. At first, we started from the introduction of dynamic group. Dynamic, its full name is Jiangsu Dynamic Medical Technology Company Limited, and we are focused on the integrated service of research and development, production and sales of dental and other medical equipments for more than 20 years. Dynamic has reached production lines. All of these covering the overall solutions such as dental device room, clean clinic solution, dental digital imaging solution, medical oxygen concentrator, and extra. For our enterprise, core values are passion, integrity, and enterprising. Okay, let's continue. For the development path, we could see from this page, Dynamic Group was founded in 2004. Actually, we are the first manufacturer to come up with the concept of silent oil-free compressor in China. So, we have already become one of the leading companies in this industry. 7 years later, in 2011, Dynamic Medical Technology Industrial Park in Kunshan City was built up. And soon then, 2 years later, in 2013, they made breathing and oxygen production lines ready to serve for all customers. And our brand Mengyake dental clinics were established one after another. And last year, in 2021, Dynamic started financing an IPO, and our new branch, Suzhou D-Image Digital Technology Company Limited, was founded. Since then, Dynamic started to loading in capital market for further development and growth. And new products such as CBCT, digital CR scanner, intraoral scanner, etc. are coming now. Let us to waiting for all of these. The best products will show you. Dynamic DDS300 intraoral scanner attracted attention as soon as it was launched. At the third part, let me analyze the advantages of digital impression more comprehensively and what benefits these advantages can bring to our users and patients. The first advantage is more comfortable. So let's look at the two videos on the left. So about one is the reaction of patients who have the commonly used in the clinical practice in traditional impression method. And I believe that doctors must be very familiar with this condition, especially when we meet sensitive patients or when there's too much impression material. So the reaction will be more obvious and even produce vomiting. So from this video below is a picture using the intraoral scanner. You could see from this image. So let's look at it. You could see from this short video, we just need to put the tip into the patient's mouth and move it according to the specific method and sequence to easily display the patient's teeth data on the computer screen. And so it will save automatically. So this method will gradually reduce the foreign body sensation in the patient's mouth. And because the digital impression method is better than the traditional method, so less mouth opening time for patients during the entire impression process. And if a patient has any discomfort in the digital impression process, he or she can stop and rest at any time, but the traditional impression cannot do this at all. So in short, digital impression is more comfortable for patients to reduce the foreign body sensation and realize the less mouth opening times. Okay, let's continue. So for second advantage is more accurate. You could see from this page. So let's review the entire process of the traditional impression method. So for traditional one, the doctor first obtained the model of the patient's teeth with the impression material, then deliver the model to laboratory, and then technicians use gypsum powder to convert the model into the stone model and make the modification on it. There are two errors in this process cannot be avoided. The first one is generated by the impression material. The second is by the stone material. So these two errors cannot be avoided. Yeah. So let's look at the process of digital impression. Yeah, digital impression is better. The doctor's teeth data is collected by intraoral scanner and will send it to the lab then, and technicians will processing it directly on the computer. So in this process, there is one and only one error in the data. Yeah, it's created by the intraoral scanner itself. So from the various experimental data at present, digital impression average error of single dental arch about 5 to 20 microns. For the four arch, the average error of the dental four arch is only about 20 to 50 microns. Yeah, it's very precious. And this accuracy far meets our requirements for impression and higher than the accuracy of most traditional impressions. So high precision models can better display tooth details such as margins and reduce errors and rework time. Yeah. So come to the third advantage. The third advantage is more convenient. Yeah, it's more convenient for doctors and patients and even technicians. So in traditional impression process, when we complete the model taking in the clinics, we have to send the model to the laboratory by express. And there are many uncertainties in the transportation process, such as the first is the express delivery time is uncontrollable. And second is the model may be damaged during the express transportation. The third one is the shipping costs, so etc. All of these conditions will affect the complete patient's tooth model to arrive at the laboratory on time. Yeah, so model storage is also trouble and or even a problem for clinics. So it not only take up a lot of space in the clinics, and it does not clean, especially when the clinics has many orthodontic patients. So the four-house model is very bad condition for the clinics. When we have an intraoral scanner, all of these problems can be solved easily. Yeah, so it's a good question in this process and be solved by the intraoral scanner. So data transmission can be performed online through the network, and it can be saved the models. And we can save past patient's data on the hard disk and open it directly when we need to review it. Yes, this is the third part. The fourth is more efficient. Yeah, let's look at it, the page. Advantages of digital impression is more efficient. So how do we learn about it? So from these 2 points, communication between doctors and patients in traditional workflow is very inefficient. So the medical language of doctors is obscure, and such as twist, curve of speed, steep, or crossbite, end-to-end, and so on in orthodontic patients. Yeah, and in sometimes patients cannot understand the technical jargons, so making it difficult to communicate effectively with patients. With the intraoral scanner, everything becomes very simple. So we can see from these 2 images, we just need to communicate with our patients directly through the screen display on the computers. You could see from the first image. So after we had that digital impression on the patient, so placing the verbal expression with visual expression, so it can make it easier for doctors to interpret and the easier for patients to understand. This can easily and greatly increase the communication efficiency between doctors to patients. Yeah, and the patients to the doctors' efficiency can be enhanced, and the communication between doctors to technicians can also be easier. For example, when we complete the scan, we can directly send the data to the technicians for reference. So there are many tools in the intraoral scanner that can enhance communication between doctors and patients, such as high digital image and check undercut and etc. Yeah, this is the fourth advantages of digital impression, more efficient. Yeah, the first is dentist to patients communication. Second is the dentist to technicians communication. Okay, we come to the fourth point. In this page, as we had recommended and mentioned before, the 4 points are relative to the traditional impression methods. So what are the advantages of digital impression? The first is more comfortable. The patient's experience is more comfortable. The foreign body sensation in the mouth is reduced, and the time for the continuous mouth opening is also greatly reduced. So this is more comfortable. The second is more accurate. Yeah. There are 2 inevitable errors in the traditional impression methods and process. The digital impression has only 1 error in this process, but in most cases, the accuracy of digital impression is much higher than traditional one. So the third is more convenient. So for data sending and transmission to the lab online, reduce the time and risk of the model carrier, and the facilitates the storage of patients' models. The last one is more efficient, such as doctor to patient communication has changed from traditional language to more efficient visual methods. So it can making it easier for doctors to express and understand for the patients. And even the technician can diagnose online whether the data is sent by the clinic and doctor is qualified or not. And doctors can also provide patients' information to the technicians as a reference information. Okay, all above is the introduction of the third part. And then let's look at the first part. The first part is the name is why choose digital intraoral scanner. So in this part is very important. So it can help us to learn what the intraoral scanner can bring us better. So let's explore it together. The first point is the saving costs, which is one of the reasons why using an intraoral scanner is very important for clinics, such as the shipping costs of the using intraoral scanner can help us greatly reduce the costs. If there are more patients over time, and the cost will increase significantly. So if we have intraoral scanner, the intraoral scanner is one-time fee and doesn't increase significantly with the number increase of the patients. Yeah. The second is the storage space. In traditional process, we have to store the patient's plaster model for a period of a time due to the need of treatment. And with the accumulation of time and patients, the plaster stored on in the patient clinics will be occupied more and more space. And secondly, the traditional impression material clinic will buy half a year or more at a time. So, and these materials will also take up a lot of space. And then the third one is the communication efficiency. The computer can visually display the patient's tooth model, and which can make the communications between doctors to patients easier, and the patients can clearly understand the condition of their tooth. And even the communication between the doctors and the lab technicians will also be more efficient. So for lab, can check online whether data provided by the doctors is available, and the doctor can also provide more patient information to laboratory technicians as a reference information for the production. Yeah. The second point is additional revenue. We started from three aspects. There are the operation, branding, and the digital project. Yeah, we started from the first point, operation. After using the more convenient and faster the intraoral scanner, for the same patient, the doctor can save more time to do the treatment for more patients. Yeah, and in a week can save a lot of time and more patients can be treated. So thereby greatly improving the patient's diagnosis rate. And the second point is the branding. And digitalization is a very advanced concept at the moment, and the digital products are also very advanced diagnosis and treatment tools. As one of the few outpatient clinics that has introduced the digital products, the intraoral scanner can help outpatient clinics to improve the oral brand and attract more high-quality patients. And comfortable diagnosis and treatment will better help outpatient publicity. So according to the survey, customers introduced by old customers can bring the higher height, the higher stability, and better quality. So the digital products can enhance the brand of the patient clinics and can also help outpatient clinics to improve their public reputation and win more business and customers. And the third one is the digital project. The intraoral scanner in the digital oral cavity is most advanced product, yeah. And with the intraoral scanner, the clinics can carry out more digital projects, such as chairside, the surgical guide, digital smile design, and etc. Yeah. When there are more digital projects, in addition to enhancing the brand effect, the outpatient clinics can also add more charging items, such as the chairside solution. Yeah, the chairside solution. And the time-demanding patients often want to get their teeth in the short time. So the outpatient service can add to the cost, such as program and separated from the normal treatments. Yeah, that's a good idea to creating a program dedicated to the high-end clients. The same is true for surgical guide. Yeah, this 2 point, the surgical guide, which cannot not only help doctor better place implants in the patient's mouth, but also complete the surgery faster and win more dental businesses. Okay, in the first 4 parts, we introduced the company, the impression method, and the advantages of digital impression. And the benefits, even the benefits of intraoral scanner can bring to the customers and the clinics. So in fifth part, we will introduce today's main part, the dynamic DDS300. It already has a very large user base in China and also received users recognition in China. So the DDS300 brings great convenience to clinics and doctors, especially after the purchase of DDS300. The performance of clinics has increased significantly. Yeah, the purpose of DDS300 is help clinics easily to enter the digital dental age. Yeah, let's continue. Okay, first, let's to understand the basic information of DDS300. The image on the left shows the connection method of DDS300. So I believe that there are many intraoral scanner connection methods on the market now that are more complicated. So between the device and the computer and between the device and the power supplier, separate converters are required for normal use. So the connection of the DDS300 is very simple. After the power cord is connected with the device, you can see from this image, the device can be connected to the computer through the USB type, connection type. And the picture on the right is the dimensions of DDS300 tips. So the height is 18.5 millimeters and the width is 19 millimeters. So this size design not only ensures the convenience of the operator and the control to the patients, but also allows a wide range of single data acquisition. Okay, next. Next, I will share the advantages of DDS300 with you. So learn from these two main contents of the software and the hardware. The hardware will be the following 3 points. Ergonomic design, need no calibration, high temperature autoclave disinfection. This is 3 part. Yeah. And the software is true color, intelligent algorithm, humanized auxiliary function. Yeah, this is 3 part. So the first features of the hardware, we come to the ergonomic design. The DDS300 was designed with the importance of ergonomic in mind. So the appearance, you can see from this picture, the appearance design of the DDS300 is relative round. It continues the doctor's pen-holding operation. This gesture, yeah, pen-holding operation habits, so that the operator can adapt to this new equipment more quickly. So the round bottle design, also of the DDS300 allows the operator's hand and the device to fit naturally. It also allowing the operator to maintain a more stable and comfortable gesture during the use. Okay, let's continue. The second hardware advantages is need no calibration. Yeah, at present, more than 19% of the intraoral scanner on the market require regular calibration, such as color calibration and the 3-digital calibration. So the design concept of the user experience of DDS300 without calibration, it is very advanced. So in the future, other intraoral scanner manufacturers will also release products that do not require calibration. And this design was also become a major trend. So what are the benefits of the what are the benefits to the users of no calibration? The first is reduce the maintenance costs. Yeah. The first is reduction in the equipment maintenance costs, including the purchase of the poster calibrators. As we know, single digital calibrator is about maybe 80 or even more, $80, and some has only 2 years lifespan. So another point is the time. The time cost of the personnel maintenance. So regular pre-use calibration is a relative complicated process and wastes the operator time. And the third hardware advantage is high temperature and autoclave disinfection. Yeah, you could see from this image, it's very vivid. So this is actually very easy to understand, especially now at the condition of the COVID-19 epidemic. So the situation is more serious, and everyone is paying more and more attention to safety protection. Therefore, both patients and medical staffs in the clinics need a safe diagnosis and treatment environment and workplace. So every medical device needs to be completely sterilized after use to avoid the cross-infection, and which is an important measure to ensure to ensure your safety and to keep a safe treatment place. So the tip of the DDS300 is for the tips of DDS300 is fully meet the requirements, whether it is high temperature and high pressure or soaking, wiping, and etc. So for DDS300, the high temperature environment of 121 centigrade and even 134 centigrade The tips also can be satisfied. Yeah, it is very good performance. So a safe diagnosis and treatment environment can not only ensure the safety of the medical staffs and the patients, but also enhance the reputation of the clinics now. So it can also allowing the patients to promote the clinics for free. Okay, I will do the introduction of the software. The first advantages of the software is true color scanning and imaging. So the 24-byte RGB of DDS300 is more suitable in dental diagnosis. So unlike other brands of the intraoral scanner, our dynamic DDS300 can display more realistic tooth color and sharper tooth detail. Clear details display. Yeah, it's very good. So from the picture on the right, we can clearly to see that the patient has caries and calculus. So through the tooth model with the clear detail, the communication with doctors and the patient become more efficient. Yeah, it's very good. And the communication between doctors and patient will become easier. So the patient can be able to understand their own dental problems more clearly. Yeah, the clear shoulder position details are more helpful for technicians to find the margin position more accurately. So which is helpful for designing and manufacturing more perfect restoration. Yeah, it's very good and reduce the unnecessary clinic rework. If we have used other brands of intraoral scanner, we will find a problem. So many times, sometimes, the metal parts, the elements in the patient's mouth cannot be completely scanned or even cannot be scanned. So the DDS can do this, and it can solve the problem easily and completely. We can see from the screenshots of the real orthodontic patient scan data, for which we can see that the metal parts has been scanned clearly and completely. Yeah, it's a very good performance. Let's continue. The second part is the second advantage of software is intelligent algorithm. Yeah, the DDS has more intelligent software algorithm and powerful data processing capabilities. So when we use an intraoral scanner to the patient's diagnosis and treatment to his or her mouth, so some redundant data will be inevitably be scanned, such as the operator's gloves, the dental mirrors, and even the patient's tongue. So in the past, when using other brands of intraoral scanner, this useless data usually needed to be manually deleted by the operator on the software. So it is very useless, and this also wastes the operator's time, and the patient's experience is greatly reduced. Yeah, it's very awful. But in the DDS300 software, this problem is very easy to solve. So we just need to operator to open the AI program on this left picture. You could see to open the AI program of the software. This can help us do more work. So this system of the software will intelligently identify identify which part or data is useful and useless part, such as gloves, tongues, and other parts. Yeah, it can be detected by itself automatically. So therefore, with the support of intelligent software, the operator can complete the whole process of the model taking more quickly. So it can also reducing the working time, and at the same time, the patient also experience a comfortable diagnosis and treatment service. Yeah, it can help us to get to win a better treatment service. So in the third part, I will do introduction of the third advantage of the software is humanized auxiliary function. It can make the doctor's workflow and the communication between doctors to the technicians more efficient. A better efficient workflow. HD high digital imaging can turn the scanner into the camera. So for example, after receiving the model data, laboratory technicians can now find the correct shoulder, so resulting some problem with the finished product. So in this case and in this condition, we can use the high digital imaging function to take the picture around the shoulder and send it to the laboratory technicians as a reference or for a comparison for design and the production. So the second is order copy and rescan function. Yeah, it's very useful. So many times a patient, many times in some patient are treated more than once, so maybe 3 or 5 times. So the teeth are different each time. It is very inefficient for the patient with multiple treatment to create a new order and rescan the full arch every time. So the order copy and the rescan function is to solve such situation and problem so that the same patient order can be copied and rescanned. It's very useful. From this image you could see. Okay, next, there are the other two more common function. The humanized auxiliary function. Yeah, it can better assist doctors in judging uncertain situation in treatment, especially those with less experienced doctors. Yeah, we know that the different prosthetic material has different requirements for the space for the tooth preparation. For example, Emax generally is 1.5 to 2 millimeters. So Zacrana is generally 1.5 millimeters. And the metal can be lace, but many young doctors do not have the experience to judge this very small number, this precious data. So in this case, the restoration is usually corrected because the space we reserved is too small and crowded. So the DDS300 software can use the occlusion, this part, to detect the intraoral and the occlusal clearance after scanning. So it can help doctors better to judging the current situation. Another is that when we encounter the multiplied unit bridge in the posterior tooth area, so the doctors cannot confirm or measure whether there is a problem with the common insertion path, so which will also cause the patient to be unable to sit well when they're wearing the teeth. Yeah. So the DDS300 has an undercut function. Yeah, undercut function, this area. You could see from the right part, which can help the doctor to view the common insertion path after scanning. If there's a large undercut area, you can adjust the area to a reasonable size in time in the clinics, and then send it to the patient's model to the laboratory. Okay. The above all is the contents of the DDS300 products induction. Yeah. So make a conclusion. The hardware is ergonomic design. Second is need no calibration. The last is high temperature and autoclave disinfection. So for the software is true color, intelligent algorithm, and humanized auxiliary function. Yeah. So the next part, we come to the end, is the last part I want to sharing with you. The last part is the dynamic DDS300 application cases show. So in this part, let's to learn the performance of the DDS300 through the two simple cases. Yeah, the first we could see from this image. The first is the case of the implanting. The two photos above are the screenshots of the data scanned by the DDS300. Yeah, it's very clear and completely is vivid. The color also sensitivity displayed by the model can be clearly seen. So, such as the small blood vessels on the soft tissue, you could see from the first image, the blood vessels is very clear. Such as the small blood vessel on the softer tissue and the patient's arterial teeth, and the same at the presence of a large number of calculus. If from this two, the picture two, you could see from this part, the calculus. At the same time, the metal abutment is also clearly scanned and displayed on this image. Yeah, you can see the metal part is very clear. And the following two pictures should inside the mouth, and the pictures when our patients finally to finish the wearing of their teeth. Okay, this is the first application shoe. The second case, we come to the restoration. The first I want to share with you is an intraoral photo of tooth number 25 after tooth preparation. In the middle two pictures are the screenshots of the scanned digital model, which are displayed in two modes of color. Yeah, the first is color, second is mono. So we can see from the teeth displayed after scanning is very clear and completely. And the last two pictures you could see from this the right part are the buccal and the lingual size of the patient's teeth after the wearing the teeth. You could see from the image is very clear and vivid. So we could see that the final effect is very excellent. So it's a very nice experience for the doctors and the patients. So for the DDS300, the dynamic DDS300 intraoral scanner, we come to the end. So thanks for listening, and it's my pleasure to share with you.